What's happening, my people? Welcome to Vertical Football Podcast and welcome to Match Day Review, where we'll be telling you things we learned in the game Manchester United versus Newcastle. Newcastle at home at St. James Park. And with me here, I have the amazing, the football lover, and the philosophical Segun. Segun, how are you doing?
I'm great to be here.
And I'm your humble host. I'm very humble for me. And before I start, I just want to tell you, Manchester United fan, this match is not all about winning, because from what Amoni started with, I'm telling you, I don't think he wants to win that match. But I want to leave it to Segun to analyze the match for us. Segun, what do you think about the match?
Yeah, it was, as you said, it was a wasted game. I think right from the onset, I think if you remember the first leg that they won us 3-0.
Yeah.
Because actually they also won us 3-0 today. If you look at 4-1, that's 3-0. So I said you don't use the likes of Eriksen against Newcastle. Because Newcastle is like one of the most intense team in the league.
Team, yeah.
And once you use Eriksen, I just believe you are not planning to win the game.
Yeah.
And I clearly wasn't planning to win the game. And, you know, I think I have this issue with Amorim in the sense of he's not experienced. Or he's too rash in his decision making. In the sense of, as an experienced manager needs to understand the difference between the balance in the midst of two things. That first of all is the balance that has to do with resting players, and the balance that has to do with resting players but also trying to win a game.
Exactly.
If Amorim wants to rest players, he rests players in such a way that you know he's going to lose that game.
Yeah.
He doesn't rest players with a he doesn't rest players by putting out the team that can win the game, that can even have a chance of winning the game.
Yeah.
And when you use the likes of Eriksen, you use the likes of Amas, fantastic youngster, but when you use this kind of guys against a
physical,
Newcastle
intense
team, you're using Amas to play his first start in the Premier League, and you're using him to start an away game at St. James Park. It's unfair.
It's unfair.
He did well. Amas did well, but I feel he just decided that I don't need to play this game and my attention should be at Lyon. And now we're looking at it. You've lost this game, please don't lose against Lyon, because then we'll come for you.
Okay. But Segun, I think the squad wasn't that bad at first. The first goal was due to some, how will I put it, a lot of players losing concentration. The first game was all about.
A lot of the goals were players losing concentration.
Yeah.
Players not being proactive to cover certain spaces.
Yeah.
But I feel even before the first goal of Newcastle, the pressure was too much on Man United.
Exactly.
At one point, it's as if we could not do anything, going forward.
Yeah.
As if we just had to just stick to and this is against a Newcastle team at home.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to put in, there's a way you structure your starting 11.
Exactly.
That we know you are rotating, but we also know that you have an eye of trying to get a point or 3 points in that game. He didn't plan it that way. And I feel it was a deserved loss, really.
Yeah, it was, but I guess what really changed that match was the injury that forced Zexi out.
I don't think so.
I'm just looking from that point because Zexi was the point man and he was able to do some runs.
I actually don't think so. I think a lot of things, nothing worked today. Nothing worked today. For Man United, nothing worked today, really. I feel we couldn't attack. The only thing that Zexi had was that he had some moments where he was bullying the defensive line of Newcastle, having some good transition moments.
We missed that.
But even when he was moving, the last move of Zexi that led to his injury, you could see when he was even trying to move with the ball, the people that were help were far apart.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of things are not right with this team, but let's just hope that we can salvage this season by Europa. And from the look of it, he gambled this game for Europa. So let's see if the second leg against Lyon, they do well.
So I also want to talk about how Amorim, how will I put it, how he try all his best to always want to recover games really quick. Like, look at the decision he make, bringing in Dogu, bringing in, what's his name? Mount, and also trying to...
It doesn't make sense. I think what he should have done was he should have started with a very good squad, and then when it's 60th minute, you change.
Yeah, that's true.
I know it's on a Sunday, and I know you are playing on Thursday.
Yeah.
But truly, there's still a lot of time for recovery.
Yeah, it's not even about recovery. The injury scare, he
He has injury scare. His best player currently in the squad, okay, second best player currently in the squad is already injured.
Yeah, but at this time of the season for Amorim, I don't think he will want to entertain any injury. Notice that he told Maguire to jog. Then later he said Maguire should sit down because of injury scare.
The reality is Maguire can be rested into this game, and the first 10 minutes of Leon can get an injury.
Yeah, but football is like that. We don't hope that, but he just have to try his best.
The reality is, this is Manchester United. You have to win every game. We don't want to hear injury or no injury. You are losing, you are still having injuries. So the reality is, you have to, because fans are coming to watch games. You can't gamble games like this.
Now, Dogu performance against Leon.
I'm not talking about Dogu.
Yeah, I'm just talking about some players that need resting. Dogu performance against Leon. Everybody knows that this guy will end up gas out if he did not rest quick. And he needed that.
He needed the rest.
Yeah.
Quite all right. Why didn't you start with, for example, maybe Maguire? Maguire is playing a 3. It's not as stressful as you think.
Yeah.
I use what do you call it? I use this other guy by the Mazraoui Dalot. Dalot today was clearly tired. He didn't remove him. All these poor performance of Dalot. Dalot is not actually, Dalot has issues this season, but Dalot was not actually, has not been good this season. But obviously Dalot was tired. These players and you have to rest players, but you also have to do it with sense. The reality is, he has overused Dalot, he has used Mazraoui, overused them over the weeks. Over the weeks, even though you want to even rest players, why don't you rest players in the first leg of Lyon?
But that first leg, you wouldn't there.
Why don't you? The effect will not have been as much as against Newcastle. This is the highest, in my opinion, the highest intensity team apart from maybe Liverpool in this league.
Yes,
and you're using players that cannot run.
They bashed Liverpool against in the
using players that cannot run. You are putting. I think he gambled the game. That's the summary of it. He gambled the game and were really terrible.
Now, going forward, what do you think Manchester United needs to change in match days like this? Because I'm looking for example, why we are saying that match, Bruno Fernandes, from the beginning of the match, I was part of the people saying, anytime you see Bruno whining,
he's tired,
complaining, doing this, we know that this match, we end up losing concentration. And we lose.
He's tired.
Can you see that?
He's tired. I believe he's tired. And, yes, physically he might still be trying to run, but mentally he's tired. Yeah. And that's why you see the misplaced passes. That's why you feel, for one, I don't know the medical condition.
Runovers. You don't need the runovers. Like, the pass button, he ran over the ball.
So
the ball went.
I think he's tired. I think Amorim has not, that's why I say he's not matured in terms of he has not known how to manage his team effectively.
No, maybe in the Premiership.
Manage his team effectively.
At Lisbon, he knows how to do that.
I don't think so.
Maybe in the Premier League, I think you see, Shagun, the intensity in Premiership is hard. I'm telling you, players, someone like Zexi
is not. See, as I said, Zexi is a good example. The last 2 games, Zexi has been benched, but he still had injury. Some players, it's not just by resting players to prevent injury. Some players need to consistently play games to not get injured. You understand? So you also understand the kind of players. Zexi, for the past 2 games, had not played good minutes. And now he came out with an hamstring. So it's not by resting. Maguire that is trying to preserve can still get injury. So he just needs to, him and his team need to understand how to do it. Because where I feel, let me just say this, I feel that I'm fed up of the decisions he's making, but I just want to keep it to wait till next season. Because, for example, a decision that he has been making is the fact that he told us it's about the team. He's not looking at trophies. That's why he gambled the Carabao Cup against Tottenham. Now, you are not resting to play for the league, for the Europa League. I don't understand.
I think we need to get to Champions League. It puts us.
We don't need to. My fans, we don't need to get to Champions League. We need at least this team needs 2 seasons out of the Champions League. Okay. Because you want to build a squad. You don't want the extra pressure of playing midweek. We need to get it. We need these European competitions are not good for us. I feel that
the trophy is a win for us.
Wait, see, he's the same person that said you. Him only I'd like to say you use trophy to cover up mess that you are in. This is the reality. The fact is, we need a team that can at least be playing only Premier League and the domestic cups for at least a season. Let's have time in the training ground. Have time in the training ground. It will help us.
But Shagun, but look at this. Try to look at this from this angle. Will you prefer to go trophyless this season and next season you gain top 4. Or you win Europa this season, you gain top 4, and you can still do a bit of experiment in the Champions League. Ten Hag did the same thing for
I don't want the Champions League, to be very fair with you.
We can come out of the
I don't want
Champions League.
I don't want the Champions League. I don't want the Champions League.
Ten Hag did it that we left group stage. We can obviously come out of the Champions League.
Group stage. I don't want the Champions League.
So,
Going to the Champions League for Man United this season is not a football decision. It's a commercial decision.
That's not bad for you as a fan.
No,
it helps your mental health.
The reality is when teams play Champions League, they don't necessarily have time to train. You can go to the Champions League, leave the Champions League in the group stage, and continue your cycle of frustration.
No, you know what? Shagun.
The reality is, let us play only the league, where we have midweeks to train well and develop ourselves well.
Okay,
let's have that.
On this Champions League stuff, Shagun, Champions League game do not start. The league will have gotten to a certain stage before Champions League started.
The Champions League starts close to IS 2 months after the league started.
Yes, 2 months is enough for you to know the dynamic of your team.
I believe the Champions League. This is the first time I'll say. I believe the Champions League. Man United go to the Champions League now. It's a commercial decision.
I don't think it's a commercial. They're in that commercial.
It's a commercial decision.
Okay, wait. Shagun, before you finish your final thought, we
need to develop our team, and we need to develop our team in such a way that we have a lot of things to improve upon. We have a lot of players to change. We just need to play once a week and train heavily during the midweek.
I still want you to get something here. Shagun, you are in Europa Cup or Europa. You are in that same Europa League, which everybody are also playing in it. Right now, you're in a good position to do that. A trophy boost for a coach helps a long way. Now, Aketa did the same thing. He had FA Cup. Right now, he's not winning anything, but the team are playing better.
No, don't get me wrong.
It's a boost.
Don't get me wrong. I'm saying that. Don't get me wrong. It would be nice if Man United win the Europa League. But I feel for the trajectory that this team wants to go to, we need to do a lot of work in the training ground. And I feel if you are looking at going to the Champions League through the Europa League, it's a commercial decision.
It should be.
Because I'm telling you, even with my United team, if we don't do the necessary things, we will finish last in our group in the Champions League and we'll be out by group stage.
But I just want to say that
this is a terrible team. This is a team that does not deserve to be in the Champions League.
But there is something that they are getting right.
What are they getting right?
In the summer, they said in summer, they are going to do a lot of flush out. Let us wait till the summer. Whether we are in Champions League or not, there is a lot to be done on that team. Your Shagun, on this game now, what's your final thought?
Final thought is I'm waiting for more in the second season. And that second season, I have to say, I'll be very, very brutal because there are a lot of decisions he's making in this squad that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But I feel, let's just say, is the honeymoon period for him. Let's just say this half season.
You can make
mistakes. You don't make the same mistake in 2 times in the season by using Eriksen against Newcastle. You don't try that.
That's twice.
You don't try that. It's as if you are not learning. And it's as if sometimes you gamble games because you gamble to this game.
Yeah.
And it's not acceptable at Manchester United. You have to prepare your team, manage the workload to ensure that you have a team to put out today. That even though when we know if we have a first, we know we are still going to lose. But let us not lose woefully like this. It was terrible. He rested defenders. He rested and definitely I know he has to remove the keeper. He rested, midfielders. He just rested. And the reality is, this will only pay him if he wins against Lyon. But if he loses against Lyon and exits that competition, it won't be funny.
Yeah, that's true. I want to talk about Bayenda's performance, but I think we should leave that for a while.
I think it was a decent performance. Yeah. I think far better than what we have seen in Angelina. And good stats. The reality is football is a game of mistakes.
You cannot did the same thing.
Football is
crucified.
Football is a game of mistakes. And you cannot expect a perfect performance from a keeper that has not kept in the last 10 games. Once in the last 10 games. But for keepers, they need consistency. The reason why we are chatting about Andre Onana is that Andre Onana has been keeping consistently, yet still making mistakes. So Bayinde had good distribution. Bayinde, had good positioning.
But he lost concentration at one point.
He didn't lose concentration. He didn't play the ball well. He didn't play the ball well. I think maybe he was too overconfident. The way he played the ball, he didn't lift it so high, and Joelitin was able to. So I feel you make mistakes. Yes, but we don't accept mistakes, but let's try and give this guy like close to 5-7 games on the stretch and let's see his performance.
Will you now use Bayinde for Liam?
I've said it before. I will use Bayinde. Onana is a weak point. Onana doesn't build up well. Onana is too irrational on the ball. Onana cannot catch the ball. Can we see the way Bayinde was catching the ball some moments in this game? Onana is too irrational. I believe you just. If I was Amorim, I would treat Onana the way Ferguson treated De Gea when he first came, using Lindegaard. Yeah. I feel, to me, I've said it before, Onana should leave the team. If you're unable to get a good goalkeeper, let's try and give this guy some run of games. And you don't know the kind of level he will get to when he play consistently.
It was not actually bad at one point at Galatasaray, but the problem is that Fenerbahce. And later on, he lost concentration. He has some psychological.
Every coach, every keeper makes mistakes. But for Man United, we cannot really judge this guy because we're not giving a run of games. Let's give him a run of games. Let's see how he performs. So that's what I'll say.
All right, guys, this is our thought on this. This is just our thought, and our home preview is just to come out as a fan and talk about it. What do you think? Do you think Amorim's honeymoon will be over next season? Or should he continue with this honeymoon, building team, giving chance for about 2 or 3 years to build a suitable team? That's the first question. The second question is, will you prefer Manchester United winning this Europa or building team, just like some teams that I don't want to mention? Till we meet again, I remain your humble host, Komi, and Shegu will always be here to analyze Manchester United match. So guys, subscribe, hit the notification bell, like it, and also share with your friends. Let's create this discussion everywhere we go. Bye-bye.